Thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. We'll get into Wednesday, December 20th basketball. We have a few college games and, of course, the NBA slate to go through today. Good day yesterday. Not great, fantastic day, but good day, profitable day yesterday. If it wouldn't have been for the Suns and Devin Booker, we probably had a monster on that one. Of course, the Pelicans didn't help either, but still 45 units up for the day. We'll take it every day. And so we'll get into the 20th. So we'll start off on the NBA slate. We're going to start off with the Pacers and the Hornets. Pacers back at home, 9.5, 10-point favorite, depending on where you got it. Total of 247.5. We did take the Pacers yesterday. I thought it was going up from the 10 mark. So we did get the Pacers minus 2.5 first quarter, minus 5.5 first half, and minus 10 for the game. On that one, the totals also continue to get beat down here a little bit, but we did get it at 248. But we did take over 60.5 first quarter, over 122 first half, and over 248 for the game. I'll just tell you this: the Pacers and the Hornets are not extremely interested in playing defense on every possession. There's normally a lot of gimme layups. So I like scoring and like scoring a bunch. We think Halliburton now is going to get back on track. Halliburton over 24.5 points as his point totals came down about 4 points since it was at the in-season tournament. Over 2.5 3-pointers made, over 40.5 par. We also like Brandon Miller for the Hornets over 22.5 par. So one more time in this Pacers game, minus 2.5 first quarter, minus 5.5 first half, and minus 10 for the Pacers. Over 60.5 total first quarter, over 122 first half, and over 248 for the game. Also Halliburton over 24.5 points, over 2.5 3-pointers made, and over 40.5 par. Also Brandon Miller for the Hornets over 22.5 par. Let's see. Next game up we're going to have is going to be Heat and we'll go Jazz Cavs. We only have a couple player props in this game here for Jazz Cavs on that one. Walter Kessler for the Jazz over 9.5 rebounds. And Colin Sexton over 22.5 points. So Kessler over 9.5 rebounds and Sexton over 22.5 points in the Cavs Jazz game. Let's see. Let's get to the next game here. Get through this schedule here for you. There's a lot going on. Let's go Miami Heat, Orlando Magic. Magic at home, 5-point favorite. Total around 220. Two defensive-minded teams first, I should say. But the Magic have been much better so far this season. But they did struggle. They got beat up a couple times by the Celtics. Nothing to be embarrassed about there. The Celtics are the cream of the crop in the East, more than likely. So, well, we will go back to the Magic here. They are really good at home, so minus 1.5 first quarter, minus 2.5 first half, minus 5 for the game. Paulo Banchero over 22.5 points. Bam Adebayo over 2.5 turnovers. As there are a lot of hands going in that on that defense going against them there with the Magic, and the Magic over the 112.5 team total. So one more time, Magic minus 1.5 first quarter, minus 2.5 first half. Banchero over 22.5 points. Adebayo over 2.5 turnovers. And the Magic over the 112.5 team total. So let's see here. We've got through that. Let's get to the next game here. T-Wolves, 76ers. Should be a barn burner. One of the top team in the West versus one of the top teams in the East. 76ers have been pretty dominant at home. They had an absolute brain fart in the last game, so let's see if we get this back on the track, so to speak, for the 76ers. About a 3.5-point favorite, 226 total, somewhere around that ballpark, depending on what book you're at. So we do like the 76ers. I just think that they're going to get the T-Wolves play tough. I don't expect this to be a blowout, but win by 8 wouldn't shock me there. So 76ers minus 0.5 first quarter, minus 1.5 first half, and minus 3.5 for the game. Joel Embiid, we go back there, over 1.5 blocks. And I'll be honest with you, in that game, I think the point totals are about spot on to where they should be. The rebound totals, same thing. So we'll just play the one player prop there with Embiid over 1.5 blocks. So one more time, 76ers minus 0.5 first quarter, minus 1.5 first half, minus 3.5 for the game, and Joel Embiid over 1.5 blocks. Next game up on the board is going to be the Knicks and the Nets in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, 1.5-point home dog, 232 total. I think this game is going to be really tight, so it doesn't necessarily leave a lot to be desired there. The one thing I think we do get is a couple of player props that we do like. Cam Thomas over 24.5 points. Jalen Brunson over 25.5 points. And Jalen Brunson over 2.5 threes, as he's still been lighting it up. If he was aggressive in the first half like he is in the second half, he'd probably score 35 a game the way he's been going. But Jalen Brunson over 25.5 points and over 2.5 3-pointers made. And then Cam Thomas for the Nets, who has never saw a shot he didn't like, over 24.5 points in that one there. Next game up, Nuggets, Raptors in Toronto. Toronto 4-point home dog, 229.5 total. Once again, we're on just a couple player props here. We're going to go Scotty Barnes over 20.5 points. It's come down from his 21, even though he made 22 the last game. Jokic over 11.5 rebounds. The rebound total comes down just a little bit. And Jokic over 2.5 turnovers. So one more time, in the Raptors and the Nuggets game, Jokic over 11.5 rebounds. Jokic over 2.5 turnovers. Scotty Barnes over 20.5 points. Next game up, Hawks, Rockets. This line keeps exploding. I thought the look ahead when it was 2, we hopped on as the Rockets are really, really good at home. Now they're up to 3.5, 234 total. Rockets do play some defense as well, so and that's one thing that the Hawks are not a big fan of. So we like the Rockets here. Like I said, at home they've been pretty damn solid. So we did take the Rockets -0.5 first quarter, -1.5 first half, -2 for the game. Trae Young, has been on fire as of late. We think the Rockets defense will hold him down. So under 30.5 points, under 3.5 threes, under 43.5 par. And then we like Fred VanVleet for the Rockets over 18.5 points. So one more time in this Rockets-Hawks game, Rockets -0.5 first quarter, -1.5 first half, -2 for the game. Trae Young under 30.5 points, under 3.5 3-pointers made, under 43.5 par, points, assists, rebounds combined. And then also Fred VanVleet over 18.5 points. Lakers-Bulls will be the next one up in Chicago. I got no idea on this game. Now, make sure you do check our Google Sheets at the end of the episode in the comments section, as we might have a few player props in this one. Depends if AD is going to play, all that kind of fun stuff. You never quite know there. So check that one out there later. Clippers, Mavs in Dallas. Dallas has been a really good home team too, but the Clippers have been on fire. Question is Paul George going to play? So otherwise we would have a lot more probably on this than what we already do. But now Paul George is a game-time decision after he went for almost 40 against the Pacers. But we do like the Clippers -0.5 first quarter, -0.5 first half, -2.5 for the game. Clippers over 58.5. Clippers Mavs over 58.5 first quarter, over 116.5 first half, and over 236.5 for the game. Vike Zubac over 10.5 rebounds for the Clippers. He's a rebounding machine. James Harden over 2.5 turnovers in that particular matchup there. Next game up is going to be, let me get to it here, Celtics Kings will be the last game of the night. Kings currently a 2.5-point home favorite. Boston coming off the back-to-back in the overtime loss to Golden State. 237.5 total in this particular matchup. We don't like the side. I'd be really honest with you. I don't know. If Boston has something left in the tank, they win. I just don't know how much they're going to have left after losing that game that they were up 10 late in the fourth on. But we do like a couple player props regardless. De'Aaron Fox over 29.5 points, over 2.5 3-pointers. Sabonis over 12.5 rebounds, as he's a rebound machine. And then the Kings over the 119.5 team total. If I knew what Boston had left, this would definitely be an over game if they've got some left after that game last night. But De'Aaron Fox over 29.5 points, over 2.5 3-pointers made, and the Kings over the 119.5 team total, and also Domantas Sabonis over 12.5 rebounds for the Kings. Now we'll get into the college slate. A few games that we like here. First game up is going to be Baylor Duke. Both teams rated. Both teams rated high. Well, Baylor rated a lot higher. I'll put it that way. Duke about 2.5 3-point favorite. Total around 153. We do like Baylor here. They got embarrassed last time out. I don't foresee that happening 2 games in a row with Baylor. So we do like Baylor plus 1.5 in the first half, plus 3 for the game against Duke. So one more time, Baylor plus 1.5 first half and plus 3. And to be really honest, every time Duke has went against good competition this year, they've lost. So enough said, I guess, about that one there. UConn, Seton Hall, we don't have anything there. We do, though, have some Creighton, Villanova, game in Omaha, Nebraska for Creighton. 8.5 point, 8.5, 9, depending on where you're looking at. 141.5 total. We do like Creighton here quite a bit, especially in the first half. Creighton minus 4.5 first half and minus 8.5 for the game. One more time, Creighton minus 4.5 first half and minus 8.5 for the game. Now, next game up, North Carolina, Oklahoma. Oklahoma still undefeated. Game in Charlotte. So basically a home game for North Carolina. North Carolina, 2.5 point, 2.5, 3, depending on where you're looking, point favorite in that game. 155 total. Oklahoma really hasn't played a ton of folks. North Carolina has played a lot of big games so far, so we think North Carolina can handle this one with no problems. North Carolina, minus 1.5 first half and minus 2.5 for the game. North Carolina minus 1.5 first half and minus 2.5 for the game. So like I've mentioned earlier in the episode, make sure at the end of this episode on every one that we do, there will be a link to the Google Sheets in the comment section. It'll say docs.google.spreadsheet and a bunch of other stuff behind it. This is our bet ledger, all of our bets, what juice we got those at, how many units we placed, what book we placed them at, and then also you can see the result, obviously, when the game's over with. So on there as well. So make sure you do get a chance to check that out. This is what, obviously, we went through all the basketball picks today, but if you're into football, you can also check what we've got out so far. Football, there's been a lot of props coming in, so to speak, for NFL Week 16. So if you like betting the NFL as well, which most people that like betting basketball also bet football, so make sure you get a chance to check that out when you get some time. And as always, if you could subscribe and get notifications to the YouTube channel, so we drop our bets, you get those first. So once you subscribe, if you turn those notifications on for YouTube, life gets really simple because as soon as we drop a new episode with all of our bets, you're going to get notified to your device or phone, let you know it's there, give you plenty of time to match them up with your bets, and give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window to make some money. I do appreciate everybody's support, as always, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.